Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Entertainment Brick Show. Today, I am back doing an ideas video. I know I said I'm going to do way less of these because those were the kind of videos that kind of turn me off from YouTube. But I did want to finish this up. I kind of left everybody hanging here with my Mandalorian video game, kind of like Lego video game level idea series here, and now I'm kind of finishing it up here. This is the video where I finished that up, and yeah, we got 4 levels left here, based off of Mando Season 2, and then I will be done with the Mando kind of thing here. I just want to finish this up, because again, I left you guys hanging here, so I haven't made one of these videos in a while. I didn't rewatch the videos that I had made when I make Lego level idea videos, so I don't know if it's going to be in the same style, same format. Maybe I don't go into enough detail describing the level, but I'm going to do my best. I just kind of want to get this video done and have this series kind of wrap up a little bit. So if you don't know the rules, or what was been going on, basically, or with this series, basically what I did was I started out with Marvel, and I did like an Infinity Saga level, or Lego level ideas video, kind of, where like if they were to make a Lego Infinity Saga game, what would the levels look like? And I started that with Avengers, and I kind of did like phase 1s of Marvel and all these Marvel movies and stuff like that. And then I kind of transitioned to Star Wars a little bit because I was really getting into it before I kind of dropped off of it. And with Star Wars, I started with the Mando shows. You know, I didn't really do the Star Wars movies because we already got enough Lego Star Wars video games based off the movies. Let's do stuff based off the shows. So I did like Mando Season 1, where I split it up into 2 videos. This is Mando Season 2. I've released Part 1. If you haven't seen Part 1, I recommend go checking it out. I probably explained that the rules better in that video than I am here because I haven't made one of these videos in a while, but this is Mando Season 2, Part 2, which is the final 4 episodes turned into levels. And yeah, I'm just going to be kind of wrapping it up here. I'm basically going to be running through what the level will be called. I'll be running through, each level has 3 parts to it, based off of the episode that it's from. I'll kind of tell you what characters are in it, what the objectives are in these parts of the levels here. And yeah, we'll have some fun. So let's get into it. Start with the first level of this video, which would be level 13, based off of Season 2, Episode 5 of The Mandalorian, titled The Jedi, of course. This is an amazing episode, probably one of the best Mando episodes out there. And for Part 1 of this level, it'll be the Jedi, kind of like Jedi problems part of the level here. You'll be playing as the Mandalorian in his Beskar armor, full Beskar armor outfit, as well as the child from his like Season 1 design. I think I'd split this up where like the child would be like in a pram, instead of like walking on his own kind of thing. And that's kind of how I differentiated it. So again, Mando, Beskar, and the child would be the 2 characters you play as. And the objective here is to explore that town that was from Episode 5. So kind of how I'm envisioning this is, maybe you start out on the outside of the gate and there's going to be some sort of, problem that didn't occur in the episode where the gate can't open. So you have to kind of solve a couple of puzzles and make your way up to like the bell on top of the wall and hit it so that the gate can properly open. And then you can kind of enter the town, do a couple of puzzles to kind of get through the town, and eventually reach the magistrate's garden, where you'll meet with the magistrate, and then they kind of talk about like there's a Jedi running rampant throughout the city or whatever on this planet. We got to go fix it, and then they send you out to do it. So yeah, kind of like different sections of this compound will kind of be split up so that you can kind of go and explore and do a couple of puzzles and things like that for different people, for different like NPC characters, which will eventually lead you to the front gates of the magistrate's kind of garden area, which is such a different look than just the regular town because the town looks so poor. And then, maybe you have to like save some people from the torture chambers that they're stuck in, stuff like that. Just kind of like little puzzles, little side quests and missions and things like that up until you reach the magistrate's garden where you meet and talk with the magistrate. So that is Part 1. Then Part 2 is the scene where Mando's kind of like saying like they'll never see it coming kind of thing. And for this, I didn't really know how to go about this, but I thought this would be kind of interesting. So you play as the Mandalorian in his Beskar armor, of course, and then you also play as the child, regular season, both characters from the previous part here. And the objective here is a boss fight with Ahsoka Tano. This would be kind of interesting because there was kind of a small, quick action sequence from the middle of the episode when Mando and the child went out to go get Ahsoka from the episode. And there was kind of a small action sequence where like Mando uses flamethrower, Ahsoka did flips and stuff, and then use his grappling hook, and that didn't really work out. So there was a small fight between Mando and Ahsoka, so why not make it bigger? Why not make it more grand, where Mando and the child have to like work together and solve some puzzles and stuff to take down Ahsoka. And maybe like Ahsoka will be like force throwing like sticks and rocks and stuff at you. You have to dodge those. You just solve a few puzzles to like get up to Ahsoka wherever she is, and then hit her and like fight her a little bit. Have like a whole like fighting sequence and stuff like that. So definitely be kind of like a cool part where you're having a boss fight, a legitimate boss fight with Ahsoka Tano. I think it'd kind of be really cool. And then obviously once you defeat Ahsoka Tano, it goes into the cutscene where Ahsoka meets with Grogu and Mando, and then they talk about working together to kind of take down the Magistrate. So then that leads us into part 3 here, which I just kind of titled the Magistrate because that's kind of like, the main kind of piece of the scene here, the villain here. And in this part, you play as the Mandalorian and Beskar, this as well as Ahsoka Tano from, the Season 2 of Mando design. And this part of the level will be utilizing the Lego Star Wars The Clone Wars, or Lego Star Wars 3 The Clone Wars, transition to a different area kind of character swap style or mechanic, I guess, where maybe you play as Anakin in one area of the level and you're fighting and stuff like that. I've explained this before, but you play as Anakin, you have to like fight a bunch of droids, but then if you hold down Y to switch your character, you play as Obi-Wan in a completely different area of that level, who has to like go and fly around and fight a bunch of people or something, like in a ship or something like that. So we'll be utilizing that, where on one side, you'll be playing as the Mandalorian in his Beskar armor, and the objective is to have a boss fight with Lang, who is like the Magistrate's second-in-command kind of character. There was a quick scene where Mando and Lang have like a shootout, a standoff, and why not just turn that into a full-blown boss fight? Just give Mando something to do, right? So you play as Mando in his Beskar armor, fighting Lang, and, maybe he, like, brings out a bunch of, like, Admiral Thrawn's robots and stuff to kind of help him in the fight. And, yeah, so boss fight with Lang. On the other side, though, you play as Ahsoka Tano, Season 2 outfit, where you have to fight the Magistrate. You'd have a full-blown boss fight with the Magistrate in the Magistrate's Gardens. And once you defeat both of those enemies on both sides, you then go into the cutscene that finishes the level. So, level 13, the Jedi, that is, the first level of this video here. Next up, level 14 here, the next level here in the list here, based off of Season 2, Episode 6 of The Mandalorian, The Tragedy. I actually like this. This is a good episode. This is a really good episode, and actually a very easy episode to make scenes off of for a Lego level, just because it was so much action. The whole episode was an action sequence. So, first off, we're going to start off a little slow, though, with part 1 of the level. It's, the Seeking a Jedi level where they actually land on Typhon, right? And that's what it was called, Typhon. So you'll play as the Mandalorian, Beskar armor, as well as the child. And the objective here is to kind of investigate who landed on Typhon alongside you. So if you remember from this episode, basically Mando and the child go to this Jedi seeing stone on the planet Typhon, I believe it's what it is. And the child kind of uses the seeing stone to find a Jedi, and then Boba Fett chases right after you, basically. And, to have the usual, the Lego rule, the typical Lego rule is having at least 2 characters to play as available so you can have co-op play. So in order to do this, I would have to include the Mando and the child, just because, you have to have those 2 characters play, even though the child is supposed to be on the Seeing Stone. Anyways, the objective, again, like I said, is to investigate who landed on Typhon. So I'm kind of thinking this is going to be the more puzzle-oriented part of the level here, where you're basically going to be kind of running around the Typhon area, and you're going to be solving puzzles to kind of get to wherever Boba Fett landed, the Fire Spray gunship, or, wherever you actually meet Boba from the episode. So you'll just be kind of like starting at the Jedi Temple, or the Jedi Seeing Stone, rather. You run down the hill, some sort of thing happens, there's a puzzle that you have to solve to kind of continue moving, and you just kind of solve puzzles throughout this first part of the level to kind of make your way to wherever this ship landed. Then for part 2, this is, kind of the Seeing Stone part where the child is on the Seeing Stone, he's not really available to play as, and I wanted this one to be, a little bit more unique, because you play as the Mandalorian a lot, because the show is the Mandalorian, of course, and the child as well. So part 2, you're going to be playing as Boba Fett in his Tusken Raider outfit, as well as Fennec Shand, and you're going to be in the same, setting, Typhon, whatever, around the Seeing Stone, and the objective here is to defeat the Stormtroopers. So I'm kind of thinking like maybe they're just going to be like a ginormous health bar, at the top of the screen, and it's just all stormtroopers. And the goal is like you go to like different sections of Typhon, and the goal is to like fight all the stormtroopers and stuff. And as slowly as you kill more stormtroopers, kind of knocks down the health bar. The main, like, the boss fight is all the stormtroopers. You know what I mean? I think that'd be kind of cool. And again, you're playing as Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, characters I don't think you've ever played before in this Mando Lego game yet. So you're going to be getting kind of like a unique experience with two new characters. And you're just wiping out stormtroopers left and right and kind of running around. You have to like solve different puzzles to get to the next area to fight more troopers. And again, it just keeps knocking down this health bar that is like the stormtrooper health bar. And then I'm even thinking maybe like there would be like at the end of it, there'd be another boss fight with the stormtrooper like kind of commander who had like the orange pad or whatever, or shoulder pad, whatever. And then like in order to defeat him, you have to kick down the boulder and then it crushes them or whatever. I think that was what happened in the episode, I believe. He got crushed by that boulder that Fennec Shand kicked down. So I'm thinking maybe, kind of elements from the episode, but mostly it's just about defeating stormtroopers. Full-blown action sequence in this part of the level. Part 3, deploy the Dark Troopers. This is when the Dark Troopers show up, and this is where you play as the Mandalorian in his Beskar outfit, of course, as well as Fennec Shand, and the objective here is to reach the Seeing Stone to save Grogu. So I'm kind of maybe picturing like, again, this whole level takes place on one area. It's just taking place on Typhon, and I'm thinking with this is that like you play as Mando, you play as Fennec, and as these two characters, you have to kind of run back up the pathways to reach the Seeing Stone again to save Grogu. And on your way, you have to defeat stormtroopers, gotta solve puzzles, kind of like a mixture of both parts. So like with part 1, it was a lot more about the puzzles than action, because there wasn't as many like characters or enemies really in this sequence, basically. It was just about investigating who landed. So part 1 is about the puzzles, part 2 is about the action. Now this is going to be kind of a combination of both of them, where you're going to be playing, again, as Mando and Fennec, kind of like fighting troopers as you're going up, as well as solving puzzles to kind of make your way up the mountain, or to get to the Seeing Stone, rather. And maybe there would be some sequence where, like, they do, like, the whole sequence where Boba Fett shows up in his Boba armor. Maybe you could, like, play as him, like, in the midst of the part of this level. Like, you start out by playing just as Mando and Fennec, and then eventually when you reach a certain sequence, you just, like, fight a bunch of stormtroopers, and then Boba flies down, and then you can play as Boba to fight a bunch more stormtroopers. You know what I mean? Or maybe he'll be like in the background, kind of like blowing up stormtroopers with the knee rockets and stuff like that. I don't know exactly how it would work, but I think it would be, regardless, very cool. Maybe playing as all three, or just Mando and Fennec watching Boba fight them. I think probably playing as Boba would be kind of better. But anyways, so yeah, this would be kind of a mixture of both of the first two parts, where you have puzzles and enemies to fight. And then once you reach the Seeing Stone, and obviously you don't save Grogu, because that's what happens in the episode. Dark Troopers take him away, fly away with Grogu, poor Grogu. And then that's the end of the level. You have a cutscene, end of the level, bam, that's the tragedy. Level 15, The Believer. This is actually another kind of cool level to play through. I think this would be kind of fun, because you have a lot of different characters to play as here. So this is also kind of somewhat of a little bit more of a difficult level to make parts on, at least for the beginning, just because I kind of want to I try to make each part like represent the beginning of the episode, the middle of the episode, and then the end of the episode. And the beginning of the episode, there was just kind of a lot of talking and just kind of like, planning stuff out. So it was kind of hard to make a level idea or like a sequence based off of this. So for part 1 of The Believer here, this is kind of where they're trying to secure a transport vehicle. So I'm thinking you play as Cara Dune in her Season 2 outfit, as well as Fennec Shand, who has like a helmetless outfit, I guess, or variation. And the objective here is to hijack an Imperial transport vehicle. So I'm kind of thinking this part kind of takes place in the tunnel where they actually did end up kind of hijacking that transport vehicle. And the objective here maybe is like you as Fennec Shand and Cara Dune, you have to like prepare a trap within this tunnel to stop the transport vehicle from moving, and then you can kind of secure it. And then maybe you have to like, after you secure it, that's like the first part of this part of the level here. After securing this vehicle within the tunnel, you then have to play as, again, Cara Dune and Fennec Shand to try and like pry it open or find a way to get the door open, and then like fight maybe some stormtroopers as well that show up. Just kind of some like added stuff that wasn't shown in the episodes or like presented in the episodes, just to kind of make it so that the beginning of this episode has a part in the Lego level. Again, it was kind of difficult because it was a lot of just like, most of the episode was just Bill Burr and Mando, or I keep calling him Bill Burr, Miggs Mayfield and Mando driving the transport vehicle. So there wasn't too much that happened, and there was obviously the action scene with the pirates and stuff. So mostly, the point is, most of this episode took place on this transport vehicle, and there was, and again, the beginning of the episode was mostly just the group planning on what they're going to do. So I just thought, why not come up with my own thing? Cara Dune, Fennec Shand, they have to find a trap. They have to make a trap to stop the transport vehicle, find a way to open the transport vehicle, fight stormtroopers along the way. Then that brings you to part 2. Part 2 is obviously based off the scene with the pirates. And in this one, you're going to be playing as the Mandalorian, not in his Beskar armor. You'll be playing the Mandalorian in his Stormtrooper armor, which obviously isn't as strong. So I'm thinking like for a mechanic with the Beskar armor, you'd be able to like deflect bullets. You can't do that anymore. Mando can get shot. He can get damaged by bullets. And then you also play as Miggs Mayfield in his Stormtrooper outfit as well. I know he's supposed to be driving the transport vehicle, but considering LEGO's rule about co-op play, you gotta have some other character. And Miggs Mayfield's a unique character. You don't really play as him, so why not have him? Or this version of Miggs Mayfield is kind of also a unique version of Miggs, so why not include him in here? Anyways, objective, pretty clear. Fight off the pirates on top of the transport vehicle, stop them from blowing up the Rhydonium. So, full-blown action sequence here, obviously. I'm kind of thinking I'll do what I did with the tragedy, where with the tragedy in part 2 of the tragedy part, or part 2 of the level, the tragedy, or level 14, you have like this giant health bar with, you have to fight a bunch of stormtroopers in part 2 as Boba and Fennec. I'm thinking we're going to use that same style with this one, where it's just going to be a giant health bar at the top of the screen, and it's the pirates who are trying to blow up the Rhydonium on the vehicle. And as Mando in his stormtrooper armor and Miggs Mayfield in his stormtrooper armor, you have to run along the transport vehicle, fight the pirates, and as you fight more of them, their their boss fight health bar goes down. Maybe even kind of have another similar thing with the tragedy level, where at the end there's like maybe a main pirate leader that you have to fight, maybe who's kind of flying around in one of those whatever those like skiffs, whatever they're called, and you have to like kind of fight him and stuff. I don't know, just something to do to kind of have this be like a full blown part in the level instead of just like fighting 3 enemies and then calling it a day. You gotta add a little bit more to make it like a full blown level. So have it just be a giant health bar. You just gotta, it's just a boss enemy rush of just waves and waves of pirates that you gotta fight, which I think would be kind of fun. Then it could be like a sequence where like the Rhydonium's about to be blown up and you have to like reach the explosive and throw it back. And then, then there's like a boss fight with like a final pirate that you have to fight who's flying around the area and you have to, throw stuff at him, whatever. However it's going to work, I just think it'd be a lot of fun to play through. Then for the final part 3 here is the facial recognition scene, but more like the escape scene, where again, you're going to be playing as the Mandalorian in his Stormtrooper outfit, as well as Miggs Mayfield in his Stormtrooper outfit, and the objective here is to escape the Imperial compound. Of course, this is obviously the main action or ending action scene of this episode. It was an awesome action scene, and I'm just thinking go through the entire episode, episode's display of what happened in this episode, this final part of the episode, where you start on the inside in like that little like cafeteria looking room, just fight a bunch of stormtroopers, and then you have to find your way, like find solve puzzles and stuff like that as well, to find a way to open the blinds or whatever, to get out the window, basically. And once you're out the window, then you have to have a whole fight sequence on that, where you have to, fight troopers and stuff like that. And then also, there was like, I think they reached the roof at one point to like jump onto the fire spray gunship, so you could have a whole sequence on the roof. Like, this is definitely the easiest thing to kind of design when it comes to, when you're looking at it as a Lego level, just because, you can just follow what happened in the episode. And, I don't know, just lots of enemies, cool puzzles to kind of get where you need to go, and then eventually you end with the fire spray gunship landing, or not landing, but like you jump onto the fire spray gunship, cutscene, end of the level, boom, there's the Believer level. Next up, the final level. Finally, we're done. We're getting it over with. We're getting it done here. Level 16, the Rescue. Level 16, the Rescue. Here's the final level. So, part 1, we're gonna get right into it because I want to finish this up here. Part 1 is Moff Gideon's cruiser. This is actually gonna be a unique part of the level, actually, where you're gonna be playing as the Imperial shuttle and like a flag, like the ship itself, as well as the fire spray gunship ship itself. You're gonna be playing as both ships. Both players will be playing as either ship, and the objective here is to enter Moff Gideon's cruiser. So I'm picturing this as in Lego Star Wars: The Force Awakens. They had some like ship flying level sequences. Also in the Skywalker Saga as well, there was some like ship flying level parts, I guess. And I'm thinking it would be the same thing here, where like specifically in the Force Awakens video game, and just that's the one that comes up in my mind particularly, where and I think it was like level 2, you played as Poe Dameron and Finn in the TIE fighter, and you had to kind of fly around with this TIE fighter and like shoot at the whatever the main ship that they're attacking there is, and like shoot the cannons off of it so you can like kind of fly away and stuff. And like it was just kind of like this giant area in space that you could fly around in, constant enemies fighting at you, and then you had to like destroy the main ship basically. That's kind of how I'm envisioning this. Like when you play as the Imperial shuttle as and the fire spray gunship, there's going to be TIE fighters coming at you. You got to fight them. There's going to be cannons on Moff Gideon's ship that you have to destroy so that you can actually enter Moff Gideon's cruiser. So it's going to be that kind of style of level, which I think could be a lot of fun just to start off. It's a very unique kind of style of level, which I don't think I really used much in this Lego video game in particular, just because, there wasn't too many ship flying scenes that I remember off the top of my head where you played as 2 different ships. So there you go. That whole sequence where they're trying to enter Moff Gideon's cruiser, that is part 1. Part 2, obviously this is when we, kind of get into the meat here of the episode. This part is going to be utilizing the Lego Star Wars 3, the Clone Wars, split up, characters are split up, you hold down Y, you go to it, plays a different character in a different area as well. And in the first part here, you'll be playing as the Mandalorian in his Beskar armor, just the Mandalorian, and his objective is a boss fight with a Dark Trooper. So it's going to be a full Dark Trooper boss fight based off that fight scene, which is an awesome fight scene. And, you'll have your Beskar spear to fight with, and, the Dark Trooper will be kind of like walking around. He'll be super invincible, and you just kind of have to find ways to kind of like distract him at some points and hit him with stuff and things like that to kind of like have him like weakened, and then you can kind of go up with the Beskar spear and hit him. And he'll probably, have like a certain amount of health, whatever. But yeah, he's basically part 1 there, or that kind of section of this part here. And then on the other side, you'll be playing as Koska Reeves in her Season 2 outfit, Cara Dune Season 2 outfit, Fennec Shand helmetless, or the helmetless variation, and Bo-Katan in her Season 2 outfit as well. And, I mean, obviously that was the only version where she came from, but I just kind of made sure to highlight that it's Season 2, just in case these characters return for another season to Mando. And the objective there is to wipe out all the Stormtroopers. So, you kind of have, like, with the Mando part of this part, you're going to be in one little section where you just kind of have to fight this, have a boss fight with the Dark Trooper. Meanwhile, on the other side, you're just going to be going through this whole ship. You're going to be going through all of Moff Gideon's cruiser, wiping out troopers, solving puzzles to get to the next area. Very similar, like very, very much a similar style to like the complete Lego Star Wars: The Complete Saga, where you kind of go through the Death Star, like all those levels where you're going through the Death Star and stuff like that. Very much similar to that, except you're going to be going through Moff Gideon's cruiser as these 4 characters, taking down troopers, solving puzzles, getting bridges up to kind of continue and go across. Like there's going to be a bunch of stuff that happens there. And then again, you also have Mando fighting the Dark Trooper. So there you go. That is part 2. 2 different parts there. Then I'm like losing breath as I like talking here. Part 3 is going to be, of course, the amazing scene, the crazy scene. Obviously spoilers. I probably should have put that in at the beginning. But if you haven't seen Mando Season 2, what are you doing, right? So this is obviously the scene with Luke Skywalker, and I also wanted to use the same similar style with the Lego Star Wars 3, the Clone Wars, change character, change setting kind of mechanic as well. I also wanted to use that in here, where on one side you'll be playing as Luke Skywalker in his in his hood, in his his full cloak, the Mandalorian design. I guess I kind of just called it in here, even though it's technically not. And the objective there is to destroy the Dark Troopers. So basically, you're going to be playing as Luke, and you're going to be kind of just running through, fighting off all the Dark Troopers, going through the ship, going through different areas of the ship, using the lightsaber to just slice up all these Dark Troopers and stuff like that, fighting them as you just kind of go along the way. They'll have the whole hallway sequence, their hallway fight sequence. And then on the other side, you'll be playing as a ton of characters. You'll be playing as the Mandalorian, Beskar Armor, Fennec Shand, Cara Dune, Bo-Katan, and Koska Reeves. And the objective with these characters is to barricade the doors. Because in the episode, the Dark Troopers are punching down the door, or trying to punch down the door, while you have, like, Moff Gideon captured, stuff like that, the child and stuff like that. So as these 5 characters that you're playing as here, you'll be kind of finding ways to just, like, barricade the doors and stuff like that in this small little area. Maybe there'll be, like, a quick boss fight with Moff Gideon, just kind of represent the scene where he tried to shoot Grogu, So yeah, there's a lot, a lot of stuff happening at the end of this, but the main piece here is you play as Luke Skywalker running through Moff Gideon's Imperial light cruiser, wiping out Dark Troopers. I think that'd be so fun, just kind of end this season off with here. And that's also the end of the level there. So there you all have it. That is the final part, not final part, but part 2 of season 2 of The Mandalorian. Now, I want to kind of talk a little bit at the end of this video about where I'm kind of going with these these idea videos rather, because again, I said that I wasn't enjoying them as much towards, kind of when I took that hiatus off of YouTube. I was mostly doing a lot of idea videos, and it just wasn't as fun. I want to do more discussion videos, and I do have a ton of discussion videos set up for you, and you've probably already seen some of them with all the new videos that I have coming up here. A lot of them are discussion videos, so I'm enjoying doing those, of course. But I don't want to completely get rid of idea videos just because at times they can be fun. It's just that I kind of got burnt out from doing so many of them. So I plan. I'm not gonna get anybody's hopes up here, but I'm thinking I'll continue with the idea videos here. I have so many Star Wars shows to kind of work through that I could definitely make level idea videos off of. I mean, there's Book of Boba, there's Kenobi, there's Andor. I don't think I'll do anything on the animated shows because that's like 16 episodes, and that's that I'm not doing. That I'm definitely not doing. That's just a little much for me. So I'll do like Andor. I could do like 2 videos on Andor, 6 levels each. You know what I mean? Obi-Wan I can do in a video. Boba has 7 episodes. Maybe I can split that up into 2 or maybe just 1. I don't know. But there's a couple things I'm thinking, I can still do. I also still have to finish Phase 4 at the time of this recording. I still haven't finished Phase 4. I haven't even watched Black Panther. I haven't even seen the movie yet, just because I haven't had time recently to watch the movie, even though it came out like November of last year of 2021. So I still have to watch that movie. I'm planning on watching it at some point soon, hopefully, and I'll make sure to get that Phase 4 video out, and that wraps up Marvel for a very long time until Phase 5 ends, which will be in like 2 or 3 years. So I definitely have some time there. But once I watch Black Panther, I'll make my Phase 4 video, wrap that up. I got this Mando video wrapped up. Again, I can still do Star Wars shows for idea videos. I'm thinking maybe I do some DC level idea videos. Don't quote me on that. We'll see what I do. But I'm thinking maybe that, just because I'm kind of on a DC kick right now with the new DC stuff. So, yeah. I'm thinking I might do some of those. You'll see what those are if I do end up making them, obviously. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm thinking I'm going here. I'll still probably make them. I'll make them much less. I might even make them shorter videos just so I can kind of like tolerate it more, or the editing and stuff like that more. Just because sometimes they get like up to like 20 minutes, and they do take a little while to record. So I'm thinking I'd probably make them a little shorter as well, if I do end up continuing here. But regardless, I wanted to throw that out there just in case in the future you do see any more idea videos. Then yeah, there you have it. So, yeah, with that being said, that is the end of the Mando Season 2 level idea videos here. I might even make Mando Season 3 level ideas. That's coming up on March 1st, so I don't know. For now, though, it's just going to be stuff that I got. So, anyways, if you enjoyed that video, do the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later.